the context, right? I think we've seen since morning some wonderful presentations, great talks on how ADAS is evolving. What are some of the best practices that we can learn from global players? How can we adapt it to the Indian market? So I want to set a very, very brief context before I invite my panelists to share their opening comments, right? There are normally 2 or 3 areas that we learned from this morning, and also the way we see ADAS being implemented in India. The first one is regulation, of course. Obviously, no better place than talking about regulation here at ARAI. The second one is OEM solutions. What are the OEMs doing today? I mean, we've got different sets of OEMs, right? Obviously we've got passenger vehicle OEMs, we've got commercial vehicle OEMs, 2-wheelers, 3-wheelers, and I'm also going to talk about a completely new set of OEMs, right? And what they are doing and how we can learn from them. So that's the second angle. The third angle is the localization ecosystem. Today we've got roots from a lot of Indian competing players, right? Who have showcased their wares. How are they adapting and developing solutions for the Indian market, right?
Hi everyone, I'm Annat. I'm from Foresight. Foresight is a stereo solution company, and we're specializing in a stereoscopic 3D perception system, which is big words to say that basically we have systems that are composed of 2 cameras, and by utilizing those 2 cameras together, we create a 3D mapping of the entire surrounding with very high accuracy, like the speaker before me also explained. And this is our core technology, and based on that technology, we have multiple applications. We have applications for the defense market, for drones, for the inner city rail, and also solutions for the ADAS industry. And for the ADAS industry, for example, we took all this IP that we have, all this information, and we created very cost-effective systems that give forward collision warnings and lane departure warnings, and they are very easy to install and easy to adapt. And
most of the panel discussion also, I was at CN event. So ADAS is, if you look at the Indian conditions, but the platform for the cameras, radar is same, right? It's the conditions what it changes. So if you look at North America, if you look at Europe, they have cameras, LiDARs technologies, which is based on software, which detects something and give information to the ECU, and then it reprocesses, right? So it doesn't matter which conditions or which geography you are, it depends on. But if you look at different countries like North America, we have lane spacing regulations, cars moving the same speed for most of the time. That's where autonomous vehicle
market adoption. India is right now very big. The playground is amazing right now. We are offerings. And we started off, we'll be adopting the ADAS that is coming, but it's a very big opportunity for India to grow and become an ADAS exporter, because the kind of the environments that we see, ADAS is about sensing, judgment and control. So sensing itself is posing so many challenges in the control layer, as Chetan just mentioned. So if we solve the problems right and the timing is right now perfect for us to. We are in perfect position to adopt ADAS right now.
Excellent. I heard some very good points from experts of technology. Then they can give a solution how we can achieve that. So it's more of a holistic solution that you are looking at from an OEM's perspective rather than looking at bits and pieces. Yeah, I completely agree. So Chetan, I want to come back to you. You spoke about perception being non-deterministic.
With all the business aspects taken in place. In terms of labeling and things like that, I think this is where we need to contextualize, especially for India-like situations. We need to be very aware of how hyper-local we go on data that is required. Maybe we are talking about a car that has ADAS switched on in the ODD of only a particular city. Right? Maybe if the ODD changes, the back-end software changes. So we're talking about these sort of things as we move from level 2 to level 3. Wherein basically we need to be able to do this OTA updates, be contextualize and not have a static software. So that is one aspect of the architecture of the ADAS.